I think we have to have some conversation about Joe Burrow and all the things he's been saying that are real Andrew Luck adjacent. After he came back from injury, lost a couple games, Joe Burrow, before this past game actually, said this. He said, if I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it. I've been through a lot. If it's not fun, then what am I doing it for? And later on in this clip, he said, there's just a lot of things going on right now. And this is leading to people speculating about, one, his happiness playing for the Bengals and this current state of the team and just how up and down his career has been with this team, given the injuries and given the organizational dysfunction that's led to lackluster teams, etc. Mm-hmm. Well, also there's some people that give that last line saying, clearly there's something going on in his personal life that's also adding onto this that we don't got to get into that, but that is a layer of this, right? It seems like there's something going on behind the scenes that's making the pain of the football season that much worse. But this is leading a lot of Bengals fans to sweat a little bit, pulling the collar back, saying, sounds a lot like the stuff Andrew Luck was saying.
They should have felt like this the moment he got hurt again. I'll say this. I don't think that he's going to retire like Andrew Luck just because, listen, man, I'm looking at this deal. I see 25, 27, 35, 48. I understand, right? You may be hurt. Go ahead, rubber Jackson on that, right? Rubber Washington on your ACL. You'll feel okay. You'll feel fine. So I don't think I don't think he's gonna retire from the league. But if there was a situation, he would. Like, I could see him coming out and being like, "Get me out of here." Like, I don't want to play in Cincinnati, but I'm gonna have to get at least 50 million of that, right? Yeah. If there's 100 million left, I'm getting at least half, and then we could talk about the rest.
Yeah,
later.
I don't know if he's actually gonna retire, but this is different than what we've seen from Joe Burrow over the years. And Jamar Chase has asked about this and the difference in tone after these comments. He said, if I'm being honest, I've never been in a situation with him where I've had to uplift him. But going forward, I might need to because he does it for me. You never know what he might be going through. I might need to start doing that. And there's also another report that I didn't pull up that after this game in which they got eliminated from the playoffs in their most recent loss to the Ravens, Joe Burrow addressed the team and had a conversation with them. Again, coming off the heels of all these comments. And the player who told them he addressed the team declined to specify what was said. So there's just a lot of little crumbs over the course of all these reports that like something's going on here, and like it obviously makes sense. Like the shit that Joe Burrow's gone through since coming to this team is crazy. Like the personal injuries every other year, having a devastating injury season, that is probably overlooked by fans of sports, especially the NFL, with this being such a violent sport. The mental toll that takes to have, and even if it's just temporarily, the inability to do your livelihood, do what, especially for football players, is your identity. Football players, that is in large part what they are as football players. Taking that away is hard to like divorce your identity from that. That must be insane to go into that hole every other year.
Yeah.
And then you add into the fact the team stuff and never winning when you have this, I'm sure, tons of media attention that he hears and people slandering you for the team not being good enough. Like, it makes sense to me why he's saying all these things.
Yeah. And then saying all this and then coming back and just like being given an even more of a reason, bro. 24-0 shutout is ridiculous. And what makes this like this type of shutout even worse is that they had the ball for a long time. Like,
yeah,
I think they went. Yeah, exactly. He didn't play necessarily well either. And at this point in time, I have a theory. I think a part of there must have been some vibe, some clarification that he gave to the locker room as to why we don't know what the fuck was said in that speech. 110%. There was at least like 15 seconds of smoke for their coach, Zach Taylor, but he should not be here at all. There is no reason for him to be here because clearly.
So he's like, he stood up and he said, the players, this one isn't on you. It's the coach.
It's his fault.
I guarantee you there has to be some type of clip out from that.
I don't think he's not to do that, but maybe it was alluded to. He also said after this game, there's not a team in the NFL that would have won the game today if I was their quarterback. And his body language was crazy. Yeah. He looks dejected. He's obviously, this is like, you don't often hear this type of thing. Like a lot of times quarterbacks would be like, this one's on me. This is pretty dramatic.
I think like for them, it also sucks because they had so much success early in this tenure where you get to the Super Bowl in 21 and that's immediately, he tore his ACL in 2020, tore his meniscus, MCL, ACL, and PCL.
Jeez.
In 2020. He comes back the next year in 21, they make the Super Bowl. And you think that it's going to be sweet for the next couple of years. And then after that, you're dealing with MCL sprains, left calf strains. You have the hand wrist thing. You had turf toe earlier this year. I think playing for a franchise like the Bengals that is consistently one of the worst run teams in the league, and then you also not being able to make things work, you feel like you have to go into the media just to get your guys paid, which you can have another conversation about.
That's overlooked. That's crazy.
Yeah, you can have another conversation about whether or not like they should have paid Jamar and T and how you want to build the team. But it was very clear that Joe Burrow wanted those guys paid and that there was a disconnect between the front office and between Joe Burrow and the guys in terms of this core can do it.
Yeah.
So on every single front, I can understand why Joe Burrow is looking at the situation and feeling very dejected. And with the AFC North looking the way that it is right now, where it should be the Bengals and the Ravens every single year. And it should be Lamar and Burrow and like the Steelers. Shout out to you guys, right? Tomlin, all that. Browns, you guys are the Browns. But the Bengals are in a position where they can go toe-to-toe with anybody in that division, and they just aren't taking advantage at all.
Yeah. And in all this, there was this quote that's the longer version. He told reporters, "Do I have fun playing? I mean, how much? Winning's always fun, but in general, was it as fun as before? No, I wouldn't say it was that way." And then Adam Schefter went on TV addressing the situation. He said, "I can tell you this. Other teams in the league took notice of that, and I can tell you that for a fact. I know that because I was texting with some of them." So that doesn't mean much. That just means some other GMs are like, "Hey, man, what's going on here? Is there a situation where things might get sideways and you might be available?" Like, these are just GMs shooting the shit with Adam Schefter. But I don't think he would say that if it wasn't serious. And I'm sure these GMs had an ounce of, this might be real in their voice. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like anything comes from this? Like, is this anything more than this sucks for Burrow? Clearly, like, it would suck for any human, and he's just being transparent in a way that we can say, salute, we understand you, hope everything that's clearly going on in the personal life is fine. Do you think this amounts to anything? Should Bengals fans be worried is the question.
Yes, there's too many universes in where you're fucked from either end, either way, bro. Like whether it be retirement or the trade conversation, there's no way that this can lead to any positivity at the end of the day. Because going back to what you said, they just basically cap themselves out, put themselves in handcuffs when it comes to their team construction. I'm sitting down thinking about, Lance, like what team construction, what's going on with, their number one overall pick or the first round pick? Like, what is he on? Absolutely nothing. There's like, and speaking about that talking point too, like when is like the last time over the last few years, for my curiosity, for my personal curiosity, I'm not like disrespecting the developmental side, but have they developed any like actual talent on the defensive end over the last few years? What have they done?
Trey Hendrickson wasn't a star when he got there. He wasn't drafted by them, and they made him.
He doesn't count. Yeah.
Why wouldn't he count? No, he counts. Like that was a developmental thing with their last defensive coordinator. But I don't know off the top of my head, but. So you're saying
I fear it's nothing.
Well, the Trey Hendrickson thing is real. But so you're saying like, do they have the bag that they should have taken a developmental player like Shamar Stewart when they're going to win now? Like, did they have too much dip on their chip and too much faith in themselves?
I fear that might be the case.
Yeah, that's what you're wondering. Okay. I mean, I'm not as harsh on the Shamar Stewart thing as some people just because there's been many a raw defensive lineman taken that need a year or two to get going. Time will tell, but it wasn't like a beautiful first year. So I see what you're saying. I don't know. If you're a Bengals fan, are you worried?
Yeah. Why is my quarterback talking like this?
Yeah.
Like Joe Burrow 2 years ago was one of the like smiliest, swaggiest guys in the league. Mm-hmm. And he looks so sad. And this is like that is just not what I want to see out of my franchise quarterback. And like you
the body language difference.
Look at this.
Granted, this is a random ass day.
I understand.
This is unfair, but
I understand that. But this man is grinning in a Santa hat and a SpongeBob shirt. We saw him over Hard Knocks. He was talking about how he was buying the Batmobile, stuff like that. This man does not care what kind of car he drives in. What he cares about is that he continues to get beat up, and this team has no path towards getting better next year.
Yeah,
they don't have that, and they have not proved that they should deserve the benefit of the doubt that it's just going to take an off season and we can get right back together. They're gonna have to find a way. I don't think anything will happen this off season. If it does, I would be shocked. But I can see a situation where, one, you've already underperformed for years, and y'all know how I feel. Zach Taylor, what do you do here? Go. So you might fire Zach Taylor. You bring in a new coach, and you run one more year with this core where it's you, your weapons, and a new coach, and we see if we can figure this thing out. If not, then at that point I would understand Burrow saying, get me out of here.
Yeah.
If I'm another team though, I'm making the calls right
I'm
now.
offering the picks, all of them.
Mhm.
Do you want 9? Right? I can give you 9 and some picks. I'll give you all. Do you want the Falcons pick? Right? If you're the Rams, I'll give you that. Anybody, you are taking this, and I would circle around the Bengals stadium like a vulture every single day, and I'm calling the GM, and I'm annoying you to the point where you're gonna have to block me, and even then, I'm gonna take a flight to Cincinnati and pull up on you because you're not managing your quarterback well. You don't know what to do with all that. I'll take Joe Burrow. We can win something. And if I'm a Bengals fan, I would be nervous.
Yeah, I think vultures are currently swarming everywhere you go. You look around, there's a new GM with a phone texting, yapping. Trade. They're everywhere. You mentioned that give it one more year, give them a chance to have another year of reloading the defense, have this core together, give ourselves one good run here, seeing what we can do again with the team at its best, right? Hopefully a new coach. And then maybe after that, if Burrow's still upset, so be it. Quarterbacks don't move this way. But I would understand if he said, get me out of here. You don't really, I can't remember ever seeing that. A trade request, like NBA style, because a quarterback is unhappy with the situation. It's usually monetary. Like when Lamar requested trades because they weren't trying to pay him and it didn't go anywhere. But I can't remember the last time a quarterback is paid, is there, been there his whole career, and he just says, I want to go. Some guys are left in free agency. But obviously most of these days you get franchise tagged.
So the last guy in that, it probably would have been Aaron Rodgers, but that was a different situation because he's in a different stage of his career.
Yeah.
In terms of a prime, I know Nick Wright had made the comparison of same franchise, but Carson Palmer basically did the same thing where he was like, either trade me or I retire, and then he ended up retiring and then going off to other things. So if you're a Bengals fan, you've seen this before.
Okay.
But that's kind of it, right?
Okay.
You're right. People don't do that, and I would be shocked if he pulled an Andrew Luck and said, I'm done with this.
Yeah, I don't think he'd retire. I think he's too healthy, and relatively to Andrew Luck, who was getting beat the fuck up and deteriorating. And these guys love the game too much, the money aspect. I don't think he's gonna retire. But I don't know. I mean, we naturally say quarterbacks don't do this. NFL doesn't work this way. This isn't the NBA, guys. They're not gonna request trades. Easy to say. This is a pretty unique situation, given the fact that this organization is so garbage, and he's obviously aware of that more than any of us can understand. There's probably so many elements to why this team sucks that we don't even know unless you're in the doors and seeing how terrible the food is, how bad the healthcare plan is. Actually, that's union, but all these other things that are probably worse than we imagine. I could imagine a world, and I'd fully understand this world if he did that power play this summer. He won't, but I'll get it.
I just saw the funniest shit ever. Apparently, the Bengals didn't remove the snow from their stadium seats.
Yeah.
They violated a league policy.
I saw that.
Fucking fined.
Yeah,
yo, the broke jokes don't go away. They're actually real.
Yeah, it's crazy. So he's really wasting away over here. It's really, really crazy. And we really so surely there is a corollary over the course of history that I'm not remembering. There has been many terrible organizations over the years and many a star quarterback stuck there. But combine that with the injuries, combine that with the comments we're getting now about the clear frustration with all of this stuff, plus probably some life stuff. I can see why Bengals fans are sweating it. This sounds like it could lead to something a little more drastic than we've ever seen.
Also, according to the NFLPA report card from this past year, the Bengals did receive an F grade in the food and dining area aspect.
That's crazy.
Oh my God, they're serving these guys Lunchables. What
they
the fuck?
They got an A+ in the locker room, B+ for training room. They really got a lot of A- for strength coaches for team travel. They got an A for hell nah. A for head coaching and C for ownership, but they got an F. They got an F for food and dining, F- for treatment of families.
Wow.
Which means y'all can't get on the team plane. Y'all can't come to the facility. They are cheap. If you guys come, then we have to serve you food. That costs too much money.
That's what I was gonna say. It's probably the food because family members not coming on team planes. That's normal.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fucking players. Team planes are expensive.
Exactly.
And not getting free tickets is normal. They got to buy their own tickets. That's league wide for the most part. Not letting them come and eat the food is probably the thing that does that.
Who wants to eat Chef Boyardee every night? Not me.
First of all, F- is crazy, and they're the only team that had an F-.
Dude, what are they feeding these people? What's going on?
Slop. Chum bucket.
That's crazy.
I hope that Joe Burrow finds some happiness in the coming months.
I hope he
That's-
gets traded. What the fuck?
Yeah, and I hope that happiness is in Los Angeles for the Rams or something like that.